Hi guys, I have had a number of people ask how I made the 400 albums that are in my record store. And while it's a very simple process, explaining it was not so easy. So I thought I would throw together a video here to help you out. What you want to do is you're going to start by searching for images online. Now, you can find some front and back side albums, but when you want to do as many as I did, I am perfectly fine having blank backs on my albums because you're not going to see the back. So you find the image, you copy that image, paste it into your Word doc, and then you size it. And this is really simple with albums because they're 12-inch square, so for a 1/12 scale, you're just going to reduce this to an inch. So you just find all the albums that you want. Be sure that you leave space on the spine side of the album because, of course, we're going to fold them. So we need to have space for that. You also want to put space between your albums. I have optimized, I've figured out exactly the amount of space I want between these so that I just make a single cut and then don't have to start trimming on either side of them. But you'll work that out. So once you've got all of your albums printed, you're ready to start making your cuts. So I've got one here that I've already cut. I'm going to cut this second one off here, so we just work with one. You're always going to cut flush to the open end of the album. And you want to have those sides, that space on both sides. So don't cut all the way around the face of your album. Once you've got this, it doesn't matter how long you make this, we're going to trim that. So what you want to do is you're going to fold this nice and neat because you don't want wonky albums, right? They need to look real. Once you do this with a nice crisp fold, you can use this front side of the album as your guide to cut off that excess. So now you have something like this. Now you're going to cut tabs on either side, just little angle cuts right to the very corner of the album. Just cut it while it's folded. Don't make these angles too severe because you don't want these to be tiny little slivers at the end. Those are hard to glue. So then you end up with something that looks like this. Now you're ready to cut these front tabs off. Make a nice straight cut or it won't look like an album. So then you have this. Now we're going to close the album. We still have these tabs out here. We're going to use again the face of the album to guide our scoring so we can get some nice crisp folds. So with the album closed, face up, you're going to use your X-Acto knife at about a medium pressure and just score those tabs. That gives you a nice crisp line to fold. So you end up with this. It's coming together, right? So now we're going to put some glue on these tabs here. Now you want to put just a nice, even, thin coat of glue on either one of those tabs. Now this is really important to be neat here, especially if you intend to put albums in here. Now I'm not going to make the albums for you here today, but all I did to do that, and by the way, I did not put out records in my 400 album covers, but there are some in there. But what I did to make those is I got just 1-inch acrylic discs, very thin ones. I spray painted them. I scaled down the center labels in the same way, and then just glued those on and drilled in the middle. That's how I got the albums, the records, rather. So once you've got your glue on the tabs, and you've done it very neatly. Now I do like to kind of just bend this. I don't know if you can tell how I'm doing it. Bend it a little bit when you cover the top over so that that glue, any excess glue, if there is some, will go on the back and not on the front, because you don't want to have glue on the front of your albums. That wouldn't look real either. So after you've kind of pressed that together, what I do is I take the back end of my X-Acto and I run that along those creases. That gives you, for one thing, a real good seal, and do just a little extra on those corners. And what that does is not only give you a good seal, but it also gives you that little bit of a gap there to give you the dimension for the album, so it just doesn't look like a square piece of paper. It now has some dimension to it. That is literally all there is to making these. I pumped these out pretty quickly. I don't know what my pace was, but there are about 400 in the record store, and this was not the worst thing I had to do to get that together. So I hope this is helpful. Enjoy. Let me see your projects. Thank you.